From the Oak Harbor, Ohio weather team, this is a severe weather alert. And good afternoon. I'm coming live to update you on a severe weather alert. Ottawa County is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This warning is out until 4:15 for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. This whole line of storms has really produced a lot of damage to the west. A lot of tree and power line damage being reported, and also a few instances of some structural damage as well. So if we go in here, these storms are near the Bowling Green area at the moment, and these are actually cells ahead of the line that has actually had severe warnings earlier. You see the storm right here popping ahead of the line. So if we back out and we're going to put a track on these, first thing what I'll do is I will put a track on these individual cells ahead of the line. And actually, let's move that down a bit. So if we put a track on these, and they're moving at 45 miles an hour. Now there's a lot of locations here, so I'm going to scroll through this. At 329, which is right now, it's in Signet. 331 Bloomdale, 331 also in Arcadia, 332 Forest, 332 Jerry City, 334 Van Loo, 336 Wharton, 339 in Kirby, 340 in Fostoria, 341 in Cary, 342 in Wayne, 344 Rising Sun, 345 in Bradner, 346 in New Regal, 355 at Bettsville, 355 also at Burgoon, and also 355 at Gibsonburg and Helena, 356 in Tiffin, 356 in Sycamore, 403 in Lindsay, in Ballville by 405, 406 in Fremont, 407 in Republic, Green Springs, and Bloomville, 413 in Clyde, 416 in Arcadia, 422 in Bellevue, and 424 it will be in Port Clinton. And that's just with the cells ahead of the line. If we move back up here, now I'm going to put a track on the line itself. And when we do that, off to the northeast at 45 miles an hour, 332 in Ada, 334 in Deschler, 337 in Liberty Center, 339 in Macomb, Arlington, 345 Weston, 345, 348 in Findlay, 348 in North Baltimore, 353 in White House, 353 in Forest, 356 in Bowling Green, Waterville by 357, 404 in Maumee, 405 in Cary, 405 in Perrysburg, 405 in Fostoria, 409 in Pemberville, 411 in Rossford, 413 in Toledo, 415 Walbridge, 417 Woodville, 417 Northwood, 417 Oregon, 417 in Gibsonburg, 418 in Millbury, 420 in Genoa, 421 in Tiffin, 422 in Elmore, and 428 in Ballville, and then 430. This will be in the Fremont area. So not quite to Oak Harbor. I would expect just after 430 to be in the Oak Harbor area. As I've said, this has produced a lot of damage to the west, and it also has kicked up a lot of dust in the fields. I've seen evidence of that. It has taken down power lines, trees, in some instances, some trees onto homes. So definitely a nasty, nasty line. And we also have this whole line, which I won't show it to you, but this whole line goes severe all the way down, all the way down throughout the state and into Kentucky. So this is a long line, and it's pretty crazy because currently here in Oak Harbor, we're sitting at 57 degrees. If we had temperatures in, say, the 60s and 70s today, we really could have had quite the severe weather event. And this has already, as I've said, produced a lot of damage reports off to the west. So if we go back in, let's go in a little bit tighter now. And then again, storm near Bowling Green. We even have a storm with some small hail showing up near Findlay. So there could be some small hail as well. You definitely want to take cover, and we'll get you through this. Let's see if let's back out again here. If we look at some of these damage reports from earlier, this is a report near Brunersburg in Defiance County. There's a 47 mile an hour wind gust. Here's a 61 mile an hour wind gust near Antwerp. And here's another one down here near Van Wert in the Middlebury area, excuse me. 60 mile an hour winds reported there as well. And now we're even getting a report near the Lima area of 60 mile an hour winds. So this whole line has a history of producing damaging winds. And I have some webcams. And if we go here, now this is looking at Dowling Road and I-75. This is in Wood County, and you can see the dark sky. This is looking southwest. So this is going to be, this is going to definitely look mean. And if we go to a different view, let's look up north of I-75. This is looking south, And again, very dark skies. Looks like you can almost see some dust being kicked up from the fields. So we you want to take this very seriously. You have time to get some stuff indoors. Um, and thank you guys for the support. Uh, if we go now to back to radar, and these storms getting ready to cross I-75. If you look here, we don't have a lot of lightning strikes with this. Picking up 1 to 2 strikes, but there is some lightning with this, so that'll be another hazard. Again, if you're just joining, this goes out until 4:15. 4:15 p.m. and again 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail is possible with these storms. Let's see. Okay. Not getting any new reports here recently, which is good news. But again, if we zoom out, I want to give you the bigger picture here of what's going on. You see all of these warnings. We have severe thunderstorm warnings literally from Toledo all the way down past Cincinnati and into Kentucky, and it looks like the southern extent of this storm is also producing a lot of damage down in those areas. But if we go back in here and we're also getting kind of far away from the radar in Fort Wayne. So here shortly, I'm actually gonna switch over to Cleveland's radar, and that might give it a little different look here in a second. But again, this is out until 4:15, and it technically does include it. Oak Harbor is right on the edge of this warning, so that's why we came on. We're technically split half and half, but I am fully expecting that the rest of the county will be put under a warning here pretty soon. Let's see. And I want to give a different look now. This is looking, we're going to go back to the webcams here. This is looking south from the turnpike at 280 and I-80 and I-90. And this is looking south, and you see the very, very dark sky. This again will be moving our direction, and again 60-mile-an-hour winds and maybe some small hail with this line. So we'll go back to the radar. Okay. Good news is that I'm not seeing any new reports still. Um, so uh, hopefully that means that these cells are actually weakening, but I'm not willing to say that just yet. Um, let's go. Okay. So if we zoom in again here, the cell near Bowling Green, this is moving. We'll put another track on this. This is moving to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. I'm gonna have to zoom out here. Actually move over this way. Ignore that. If we move this to the northeast at 45 miles an hour, okay, so this is going to move this down here. This will be in Pemberville by 3:45, Lucky by 3:45. That's in 2 minutes. 3:51 Bettsville, 3:52 Burgoon, 3:52 in Woodville, 3:53 in Gibsonburg and Helena, 3:56 in Genoa, 3:58 Elmore, Clay Center also by 3:58, Lindsay by 4:01, Ballville by 4:02, Fremont by 4:03, 4:04 in Green Springs, 4:06 Rocky Ridge, 4:09 in Oak Harbor. So um, just roughly after 4 o'clock, this will be in the Oak Harbor area. 4:21 in Port Clinton, 4:26 Bayview, and this will be out over the islands by 4:35, and also partially part of the line will be near Marblehead by 4:35 and Kelly's Island by 4:39. So you've got roughly 15 minutes if you're in the Oak Harbor area to take cover and get things indoors. There's probably quite a nasty looking shelf cloud with this. I would not be surprised to see that. If let's try looking at this from a different view. Let's look at this one. Okay, so that's not gonna work. I'm trying to get a different camera view of these storms. It's looking a different direction. It's also looking a different direction. Okay, so I guess we won't do that. Let's see. Okay, so again, these storms are now approaching Woodville. And actually, let's look at the winds here. If we look at velocity, and actually, we're going to have to go to a different radar site. So hang on one second. Okay, this is going to change a bit here. Wait for the radar to load. Okay, here we go. going to take a second. Oh, come on. Okay, while that's waiting, we'll do this. Okay. There we go. Okay. There, it's finally popping up. So if we zoom back in here, look at some of these. Now this is looking really high up, so I don't think we're going to get a real accurate look at these, but right now radar is picking up upwards of 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. But again, this is, well, there's some 35s. This is looking very high up from the radar beam, so I still think 60 mile an hour winds is definitely very possible. So if we go to reflectivity, here's our storm near Bowling Green. If we do this, actually, okay. Looks like we even have some cells trying to develop ahead of this line near Lorraine. If we move this out, little disturbance near the west side of Cleveland. But again, here's our storm. This is going to be coming right towards Oak Harbor. So the the winds are going to be well ahead of this actual line, so even before it rains you'll get the wind. So definitely want to take that into consideration as well. That's looking wrong direction. Okay, here is a really good look at the shelf cloud that's going to be coming in. So if I go back to the webcams, you see this shelf cloud showing up right here. That's part of it, and this is at 795 in Cummings Road. So there we may get some spectacular pictures of the storm coming in. So if you are able to safely before this storm comes in, you may be able to get a couple of pictures of this. So again, if you're safely able to do that, feel free to take a couple of pictures of this, send it in, and I will feature it on a status here later on our page. But again, do not put yourself in danger by doing that. We want you to be safe. And again, this has produced a lot of damage in areas off to the west. Let's see if we got an update on the warning while we're looking at that. So it hasn't updated yet. Yeah. So again, this is out till 4:15, and if we get a, I'm gonna keep that shot up for a while, just to show what's coming. It'll be interesting to see uh, what kind of um, wind we'll see from this. You see all the fields there. We uh, might see some dirt being blown around. There's also trees in that picture, so we could see the trees blown around, and they may even go down. Um, so uh, again, this is at 795 in Cummings Road in Wood County. Um, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of good views from the west that I could find. Um, my hope is in the future that I'll have a drone and be able to stream that, uh, but that may take some time. So this is what we've got for now. Um, if we go back to the radar real quick, um, okay, these storms, you see that they're kind of bowed out. That's a real strong indication of some very strong winds being pushed out with this. Um, and we're on the northern edge of that. You see there are some storms up in Michigan, but no severe warnings there. So we're on the northern extent of this line. And whoa, sorry about that. If we zoom back in here, if we go further to the south, again, this whole line is severe warned and is um, capable of producing very strong winds. This will be heading towards the Columbus area, Cleveland later on. It's already moved through Cincinnati, but you see the warnings that are even down through there, and also damage reports. Um, let's see. Hang on one second. Okay. So behind this line, there's, if we go back up to our neck of the woods, it is very cold. If you notice, we'll zoom back out again here. So ahead of this line, you see 61 in the Toledo area, 61 to 63. It's 55 in Port Clinton. But look in Wauseon right now, 46. So this is the cold front. This will be our only severe threat today, and this will also bring slightly cooler temperatures for tomorrow. But after that, we're going to see a nice warm up through the rest of the week, and by the weekend, we'll be in the 70s. So we'll just have to get through today, and once we get through today um, and tomorrow, then our real more seasonable temperatures will begin to take hold. Gonna do a new track on this, get the latest. There's the extent of the line again off to the east, northeast. Zoom out here. At 45 miles an hour. Okay, so this will be in Bettsville. Okay, what just happened here? I'm not sure what just happened here, but this will be in the Bettsville area by 358, 401 in Elmore, 403 in Lindsay, 406 Ballville, 407 Fremont, 409 Rocky Ridge, 411 Oak Harbor, 424 Port Clinton, 430 Bayview, 437 it'll be over on Put-in Bay in the Islands, 438 in Marblehead, and Kelly's Island by 442. So if you're in those areas, those are the that's the timing of this. The southern storm near the Tiffin area, that's really starting to gain some strength, and had a few lightning strikes out of it. So if you're in the Tiffin area, you're going to see quite a storm as well. But back here in the Oak Harbor area, this is really coming in now. Again, right now we're sitting at 57 degrees. We went for a high of 62, and it looks like we're not going to quite reach that. But just to the west, we're at 61. And that may actually hinder this storm a little bit. Hopefully, we'll start to see a weakening trend. But we'll see on that. I'm going to stay with this until it moves on through. Okay, what is this? Okay. No. Okay. I gotta figure out what's going on with my radar here in a second. Once this is done, we're gonna stick with this. Oh wow. So I'm getting video of this shelf cloud. I'm gonna try to I'll pop it up here in a bit. But if you are able to look off to the west, this is quite a shelf cloud showing up. Okay. Hang on one second. I'm gonna get that popped up. Let's see. Just hang on one second. Yeah, okay. I'll show that after the storm passes, because we gotta stay on this, but definitely some very crazy looking clouds. um, so definitely could see some strong winds with this. Um, a lot of times that's what that's showing. Uh, let's see. Excuse me. Um, okay. Um, if I would say at this point though, if you're in the Oak Harbor area, your time is almost up. We're at 4:03. So you've got less than 5 minutes to, well, around 5 minutes to get ready for this. Um, wow. Okay. Hang on one second. Uh, we've got a few guys from the team out. Uh, Unfortunately, they're not able to stream today. Otherwise, I would have had that up. But uh, I'm getting several pictures of this thing, and very, very well-defined shelf cloud showing up. Um, okay, so again, this is coming. This is going to be within Oak Harbor within the next 5 minutes. So you want to be underground, or not underground, but in shelter right now. Um, let's see. Okay. Again, the severe warnings out till 4:15. Uh, we should see an extension issued shortly. Um, wow. This is a definitely a crazy looking storm that's approaching. Um, I'm also getting pictures near the Gibsonburg area as well of this shelf cloud. Um, I will definitely post pictures later on. Um, I'm gonna check something real quick. Um, so before I do that, there is now a special marine warning, which is not surprising for out on Lake Erie. Um, so if there's anybody that you know that is out fishing today, they need to get in like now. uh, because this line is very, very significant. Um, so let's zoom back in towards the Oak Harbor area. The storm is right on the doorstep. It's moving through Genoa at the moment. Oak Harbor may not get the worst of it. It's most likely pouring right now in Oak Harbor, or excuse me, in Genoa. Um, it should, that particular storm may go north of the center of town. So the west and northern extent of Oak Harbor is probably going to see the brunt of this storm. Rocky Ridge, um, but again, this whole line definitely has the possibility to produce some damaging winds. Here's velocity mode, and if we look at this, again, this is going to be higher up. Unfortunately, we are in an area that is pretty far away from either radar site. Looking at, again, roughly 20 to 30 mile per hour winds from this high up. So at the very least, some gusty winds. Right now it's calm. Let's do that. And we'll zoom out here and put back on reflectivity here. So again, this will probably be with us for the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then this will move through. There is some rain behind it, but the severe threat, I would give about another 15-20 minutes for the all clear for Oak Harbor. Still getting more pictures and video, and again, like I said, I will post all of these later on. But let's see. No new damage reports that I've seen. I'm just going to make sure of that. And no, there's nothing as of late. So we may get lucky and only end up with some gusty winds, but I still don't want to be for sure on that. And there is even very, very small areas of some rotation actually showing up in these storms. Now, the tornado threat is virtually zero today, so I'm not worried about that. It's very weak, and sometimes you get these little areas that show up within the line, but nothing let's see, and I can tell it's getting dark in my room here, so I would say this shelf cloud is probably moving overhead right now. Um, okay. Let's see. Let's see if we got any extension on this warning. Um, okay. So as of 15 minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm located along a line extending from Deerfield to Fostoria was moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour winds is still the biggest threat with this. So they did update it, and we've still got a risk of some severe weather with this. And we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Um, I'm very happy that we don't have any damage reports right now. Let's see. Okay. This is definitely moving through Oak Harbor right now. So give it about another 5 to 10 minutes, and this will be moved through Oak Harbor, and we'll be done with it in town. Portions to the east, if you are if you're in the Port Clinton area, you're gonna be another 20 minutes, and we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning that now includes Port Clinton, the eastern side of Oak Harbor, Sandusky, Norwalk. This is also for 60-mile-an-hour winds. If we, let's see. Well, that's not what I wanted. Okay, this is for Ottawa County, Huron County, Erie County, Eastern Seneca, and Eastern Sandusky counties until 5 o'clock. So for the next 45 minutes. At 4:13, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Oak Harbor to near Bloomville, moving east at 40. This storm is moving east at 40 miles an hour, and 60-mile-an-hour winds are possible with this storm. So nothing's really changed. Still capable of some very strong winds. And the northern side of town is likely going to see some bigger, or not bigger, but some more rain. And the gusty winds have hit here on the east side of town. And so if you're on the west side of town, you're probably almost done with this. And actually, the west side has now lost the severe thunderstorm warning, so no longer severe warned on the west side. East side, you are under a warning for the next 45 minutes. But this will move through probably within the next 10 minutes for Oak Harbor, and then we will be done. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm actually now getting some pictures. I'm inside my room, um, but my mom is actually sending me pictures of this shelf cloud. So again, I will post these later. Uh, Again, no damage reports. Um, no damage reports as of right now, and we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so moving through Oak Harbor right now. It's also going to be up into the Clay Center area, um, up on Bono. This will be moving towards Port Clinton, Marblehead, and the islands. Again, here within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Um, Once it moves out of Ottawa County, uh, then what I'll do is we'll cut the live stream and uh, move on, and I'll post pictures of what has gone on. Um, okay, so that's the new severe thunderstorm warning. I'm also listening to uh, the scanner to see if we get any reports from there. Um, Still, again, getting some gusty winds here, and you can see as we zoom in real tight. Um, this is if you're north of town. Here is Route 19. Um, do it this way. Here's Route 19. So this is on the west side of Route 19, getting ready to cross over and hit portions of Route 2. And we'll be over the lake here probably within the next 10 minutes. Um, uh, okay, there was a big gust. So this will be moving again towards Port Marblehead, Sandusky, um, and then the islands. And again, once it moves past Marblehead and the islands, we'll cut the live, and after this, this again is the only severe that we have. Uh, the uh, air behind this will be pretty chilly, and tomorrow I'm expecting temperatures for one more day to be particularly chilly, and then on Tuesday uh, we'll still have some chilly temperatures, but we'll start warming up from where we'll be tomorrow, and it'll start a warming trend that will go into next week. And um, as I posted last night, we should be in the 70s by the end of the week. So warmer weather's coming, um, but I will say also that this severe threat today was very small, and I would say given the uh, what it was showing. This has actually overachieved. Um, this we were not supposed to get an entire line that was supposed to go completely severe warned like it was earlier. Now there are a few breaks, if you can see in the corner of the screen. The state, there are some severe thunderstorm warnings in central Ohio and southwestern Ohio. And then you have the one warning up here that's left in northwest Ohio. Uh, but we are going to enter a active pattern after this, and we will um, we will be uh, entering our severe weather season. We're not quite into the real peak of our season that comes in late May and then into June and July, and even into August as well. So this is just a taste of what's to come. Um, and nationally, the severe weather is going to be ramping up uh, pretty pretty crazy. So again, severe thunderstorm warning, if you're just joining, is in effect until 5 o'clock for the eastern half of Ottawa County. This storm is capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and some penny-sized hail. I don't think the hail threat is particularly large today. I think this was definitely more of a wind threat. So if we zoom back in, Port Clinton, this is on your doorstep now. Oak Harbor, this is actually going to be moving out here shortly. Now there will be some rain behind it, but the severe threat is definitely east of town at the moment. So Port Clinton's next, then Marblehead, and then we will finally move this threat out of the area and have a quieter night tonight, and then tomorrow still could see some rain early in the morning. Hang on one second. So just give it about another half hour, and then we'll be done and we'll move on. And I'm sorry for the pauses. I'm dealing with a lot here. Fortunately, I have not heard of any damage so far in Ottawa County, and hopefully it will remain that way. Let's see. Um, mhm. Okay. Uh, like I said, I've got some people out on this storm looking at it. Um, have not heard of any damage from them as well, which is good news. So hopefully that will hold true as well. I've got one that's heading towards the Port Clinton area, and another who's actually down in Clyde. So this also, uh, he just happened to be there. The Clyde storm, and it is a thunderstorm. There is some lightning with it. That one is definitely stronger, and that's going to be moving towards the Norwalk area um, and Bellevue areas here shortly. But up here, back into Ottawa County, things are really starting to quiet down, uh, which is good news. Um, okay. So Port Clinton, you're, uh, I mean, it doesn't look near as severe. Um, if we look at velocity, um, there's a couple of higher returns, but it looks like the more severe winds definitely went out over the lake. So uh, that is some good news. Oh, wow. Um, hang on one second. Let's see. That southern storm is kicking up upwards of 50-mile-an-hour winds. Um, and there's another spot just east of Fremont of 50-mile-an-hour winds. So this is still kicking up um, a lot of damaging winds. Um, near Bellevue. Let's see. Okay, so um, again, uh, up here, not seeing a whole lot in the way of damaging winds anymore. I think it's further to the south. We'll go back to reflectivity here. Yeah. Um, Still some heavy rain that's going to be through the area, but I actually think that pretty much Ottawa County is left in the clear. This is starting to get weaker up in our area. So, uh, um, well, there was some thunder. Okay, now getting a report of a tree down at Stangy Road and 590. Um, so we are getting some damage reports. That's the first report that I've heard. Uh, so I guess this would have been, so here's 590. Um, 590 is just west of town. So somewhere in that area, there's been some damage done, and it's hard for me to really see where. Um, we'll have to see what other damage reports come out, but definitely the bigger storms are near Clyde and Bellevue. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to uh, cut the uh, well, hold on. Mhm. Am I live anymore? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Uh, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the stream. I'm not really seeing a whole lot near Port Clinton. Let's take just one more look. Yeah, we're going to cut the stream. If you're on the islands, definitely still um, stay put. There's winds uh, showing up at about 30 miles an hour. Um, but it's definitely the bigger winds is going to be near Bellevue, just east of Clyde, Castelia, towards Norwalk. So, thank you. Okay, real quick. Now, this is not in Ottawa County, but I do know that there are some family members that follow this page. In New Regal, I'm looking at structural damage. Um, Looks like a part of a roof um, that has fallen in the roadway off of looks like a bar of some sort. So some damage in the New Regal area from earlier, and also a report of damage um, in the just west of Oak Harbor. So, um, but with that being said, If you're east of here, take cover. And thanks for watching. And I will post those pictures up later. Have a good night, everyone.